Hey everyone, this is Alex Milstein. I'm the editor-in-chief of Betting News Now, and this is Bet Ed Now, bite-sized bits of betting industry knowledge. This week I spoke with Jon Piett. He is the owner and founder of Lotus Mattress, a Canadian mattress manufacturer. He also owns Modern Mattress, a five-store retail operation in Canada. And today he's going to be talking to us about building company culture, which he does in a very unique way. So enjoy this conversation. Nice to have you with us, John.
Thank you, Alex. Awesome.
Yeah. So excited to talk about building culture within your company. And, we spoke just previously, you do a lot of pretty unique things. So I'd love to go through a couple of those and just kind of look at them a little bit closer.
As we're building up, we're always looking at different ways to build culture. And again, I've worked for a lot of different companies in the bedding industry and how things are done. And we're trying to do the opposite. So whatever is normal, we're doing the opposite. So from coming up with our product, like our Lotus brand that we sell in our store, stuff that I design, again, it's not all on me. We really look at it not from a top down, but a bottom up. So from some of the features that we add to the mattresses, the feedback that we get from our sales team and delivery team, but we even name some of the beds right after some of our salespeople. So again, as we're building it, as they're giving us feedback on it, we've named it after that. Or one of our co-owners, we named it after her daughter. And again, so it's a real grassroots bringing it back to us and being local and having the sales team and sales consultants really have passion about selling the product versus just on spec or anything like that. So it really does bring a different dynamic to the selling force and the sales team that we have.
That's a really great way to bring your employees into the company in a way where they really are invested in it. They kind of have stock in it after that. And, with retail traditionally being a business where it's hard to keep employees sometimes, that's a really good way to build that culture. So I think that's very unique. I haven't heard of anybody else doing that. So really cool.
Yeah, even some of the features, like she's now our sales manager at one of our locations. We were building a new product, and I remember getting the prototypes, sending them to the store, and getting them tested out, and getting the feedback from the staff. And she goes, "John, is there a possibility to do like a coil right onto the edge?" Because we were getting some issues with sidewall bloat, or it's too soft for some of our customers and guests that came into the store. And just that little like suggestion that she brought up and said, "You know what, this might be a cool thing." Well, that planted the seed in my head. And again, when you do that, I'm full steam ahead. And how do we make this happen? And we ended up putting the edge to edge coil in this kind of the value entry level line. And
Mhm.
it's become one of our best sellers. And it's one of our biggest selling points now is this edge to edge coil that works really, really well. And again, it came from her. It was her suggestion. And it's right from that person that's at the front lines every day selling, giving us feedback. And we take that feedback. And not saying that we take everything that's said, but we do listen. And, if we can implement it, we'll look at it.
Yeah, definitely. That reminds me, I forget who told me, but somebody in the industry was telling me this story about a executive of a retail business who was at a market and they looked
Mhm.
at a product and they said, I don't know why we need that. The next day they talked to one of their store employees and asked them, "Hey, would you find this useful?" And the employee said, "Yeah, of course. That's exactly what we need. I've had people asking about that, literally that exact thing." And it just kind of emphasizes the importance of being in touch with the people who are selling the mattresses every day. Because, as an owner and, you don't really have all the time to be on the floor. You have a lot of other responsibilities. So to get that input, I think is invaluable.
Yeah. And always just listening to your team and bringing an environment where they can bring ideas and new perspective on things. Crazy story that I heard the other day, when you think you heard of everything, here's something that's kind of funny. We had a couple models that were selling so well. And, I'm like, wow, okay. And more in one store versus the other stores. I'm like, wow, okay. Is it the type of clientele that they have? Okay, let's look into this a little bit more. And found out just the other day, we have a lot of adjustable bases on a lot of our beds in the store, and we're moving pretty much very strong on that. And we found out these two models sold so well because they were on adjustable bases versus a couple other lines that were on adjustable bases in the other store. So it wasn't that the customers loved it. It was just how they were putting them on there to sell them, a nice package with an adjustable base and a mattress. And, the simplest things of years of it, I'm like, oh, well, why don't we just put adjustable bases on the other ones? And so that's what we did. But it's the simple things. As you listen to your staff and they tell you things, you can react on these things to make some changes. That was a funny
Yeah.
story. I thought I'd seen
Yeah.
everything.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Just when you think. Okay, cool. Anything else that you guys do that you feel is unique and special?
I think I shared this with you before, but even bringing that culture. So we had a sales consultant, his son kind of just really came up with this crazy idea. He's, I believe, 8 years old, building that culture. Basically, what he did was he came up and designed this whole coloring book that none of us asked for. And he came up with all these designs and illustrations in here, a nice lotus mattress and a coloring book. And he did all these illustrations and presented it to us. And I was just blown away because, again, one, we never asked for it. The guy just, there's such strong culture there that his 8-year-old son comes up with an idea. It's just so unique. Like, I think back, like when you're 8 years old or 10 years old and you presented something to a CEO or high level executive or an owner of a company, an idea, and they ran with it. And what we did was we ran with it and we implemented it in all our stores. We have coloring crayons now. We have this book in all our locations, all this stuff. And, he's super excited about this now. And it's just spurring that culture within our culture that's now affected people's family and their kids and everything like that. But also the next generation of entrepreneurs. Now he's talking about building a storybook, again, about sleep and stuff like that. He's 8 to 10 years old. Like a
Yeah.
small little impact like this can change someone's life. And next thing he's going to become an author. Like I feel it's such a unique thing and the impact that we can make. I mean, we're selling sleep. We affect people's lives all the time. But then you see how you can affect someone's life or their family members in a positive way. It's so rewarding to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's awesome, man. So do you give out those coloring books with purchases, or are they just in the store to?
Now they're in the store. So if we have a family member that comes in and they have young kids, we have
Mhm.
crayons right there to keep them busy and active. Or
Yeah.
if we find out that they do have young kids or anything like that, we'll send one home with them. Just a nice little gift from us, but just something different. That's always what we're always looking for. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
unique.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay, cool, man. Well, yeah, well, it's been great hearing about all of these really cool things that you do. Glad that you've been having success with them, and I hope that, other people can take away some ideas for themselves of unique things that they can do as well. So, thank you for coming on the show today, John.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.